Welcome back! This is actually the first video I shot after our vacations, but it's not really the video I wanted to shoot because circumstances. You see, after the first leg of my vacation where I visited my sister, the washing machine stopped working just on the day before we went on to the second leg of our together vacation with the family. And so the first order of the day when I came back was to try to repair that machine or to take any action. And it's a Super Echo 6414 from Bauknecht. So without further ado, welcome back. This is not a video I intended to make, but I have to. Yeah, our washing machine is, stopped working. And it's Bauknecht Green Intelligence Super Echo 6414. And the problem is, you switch it on. Yeah, you select a program and say start, and you just hear some relays. Clickety, clickety, click. Clickety, clickety, click. Clickety, clickety, click. Yeah, it repeats itself, but it doesn't start with the program. And one time, the display here gave me the error F22. And that indicates that there is a problem with the connection of the, let's call it user interface board behind here and the motor electronics. And the wisdom of the internet regarding this is that there is a problem with the connection, probably a loose cable. So I will try to get that thing out of here. Mains AC is already disconnected. I have to disconnect the water, of course, for safety reasons. Don't want to flood anything. And then we get started. Okay, I've done most of the dirty work and labor-intensive work. That is getting the machine, you see, there's not much space here, out of the corner and cleaning up behind it. It's not easy working here. So I'm a little bit unsure where I should start. I guess I will take off the top cover first. That should be easy, just 2 screws, hopefully. Let's do that. So the screws are off, and now I should be able to just, filming that is really hard to take the top cover off, and there we already see the electronics. Great. Okay, here is the front panel, and please note that the display is only connected by, 4-wire connection. So 4 wires. So probably I2C. What was surprising for me is that all these connectors, you would expect them to be really, hard to remove, but in fact, they go out really easy. So what I will do now is try to remove and reinsert all the connectors. And I can't hold the camera while doing that. On second thought, just for better accessibility, I will remove the front panel, starting with these 2 screws. And there are 3 more screws here at the front, and I'm really lucky that I found a nut that is not really fitting. It's fitting here. Let's see. Okay, these 3 screws were really a pain in the behind. They are odd size, probably imperial, because they are somewhere between 5 millimeters and 5.5 millimeters, the heads. And fortunately they were not torqued down too much, so I was able to retrieve them with just a small plier. Anyway, in addition to the total of 5 screws now, there's also a little, can you see that here? Cable is in the way. There's a little snap-in latch holding the front plate in place. I can film it. Taking that out, I don't have a hand free, but that's the latch you have to press backwards. So beside that snap-in latch here, oops, sorry, now the panel is coming down, that's what I wanted. That one here, which you can access from the other side, there's also another snap-in point here, which you have to push up. And there is another one here, which after some wiggling gives way. Now the panel is out and I will check each and every connection. And I already mentioned this. These connectors come all off very easily. Okay, I have reseated all the connectors here and also the connectors there on this. Yeah, I guess that's a pressure sensor. But there are cables going down there. Can you see that? Yep. And I guess down there is the motor electronics. And we have to access that. And I guess we do that from the back side of the machine. So somewhere from here. So we have to take that off too. But before we do that, I will reseat the front panel. And we do that from left. Yeah, with that snap in here first to the right. So left to right. Okay, snapping the stuff back in, so the snap in here, the snap in behind there and there, I run into one problem. Here are some overlapping surfaces, and you have to make sure that the surfaces that come from the back are above or right of the surfaces that come here from the front plate. Otherwise, it won't fit correctly. Also, I will replace these odd screws on the left with something more conventional. Not quite fitting, but the best I had at hand. Okay, front plate is back on with the new screws. Doesn't look professional, but doesn't look too bad either. Anyways, I'm going here through the bad part. Now we come to the back plate, and first we have to remove these thingies here. Somewhere I read how to remove them. Give me a sec. Okay, it's actually quite easy. You lift it up here and then you pull and then it comes off. And we do that 4 times. And then we continue with a whole lot of screws. And all these screws should be 7mm nuts, and I won't film that. And after removing all the screws, that is, you don't have to remove really all the screws. There are some screws here who are not holding back the back plate, not holding in the back plate. You can leave these ones in, but after that, the back plate should come off. Yeah. Perfect. That is. That part also came off. This was approximately here. Yeah, just a snap-on holder for the hose. We'll go over that bridge. it's time. Yeah, the lighting is not too good down here, but you can see here the motor connections. These are, well, this seems to be a, I would almost said a brushless DC motor, because the thicker cables, of course, are the power. And then we have 3 smaller cables here that's probably for the Hall sensor, which gives you the angular position of that thing, so we can put the right polarity and waveform on here to get that thing turning. But I've reseated both, and there was nothing obviously shaky or loose, and this stuff here, this is obviously all temperature measurement and heating, and that's the whole cable assembly going up to the main panel. Nothing else to do back here, so I put the back plate back on. So yeah, I told you about that plastic thingy here, and that just fits in here somehow. Oh, this is fucking sharp. Okay, fits in here somehow. Not quite sure how. I guess that way. Yeah. So I don't see any other possibility. Okay, yeah, I have to put the camera away for a second. So yeah, that, sorry, shaken, that fits in quite nicely that way here. And now the screws. And I did mention that the sheet metal here of the back plate, it's sharp. All corners are sharp, extremely sharp. Okay, the back plate is back on again. Almost forgot these thingies. Make sure that the arrow is pointing to the outside here when you slide them back on, and you really slide them to the outermost position. So, top cover. There are 2 latches here that go to the front. And they latch in here. And the rest, sorry. Yeah. Looks good. And then 2 more screws. And we're done. Okay, I already reconnected the water and the mains AC, and the drawer for the detergent. And now we see. Okay. Close the door and then we press start. Actually, it helps to open the water and to close the door properly. Now we see. Plug. Okay, you hear that? Oh, well, click, 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 click. So I didn't solve the problem, and since there are no schematics available for this machine, at least I didn't find any, we can declare this now dead, and I will have to get a new one. This was a Bauknecht, and I bought it in 2014, so it's only 8 years old. Well, Nothing I can do about that. Till next time, bye. I know, I could have done more, but there's a spouse factor to consider, which puts a hard deadline on the date when a working washing machine is available again in this household. And I did try to find or to fix the most probable error cause, that is a loose connector, according to the internet. And beyond that, it really gets complicated. It's quite eerie that the machine is not really displaying an error condition here, which modern machines usually do. I mentioned I saw this failure 22 displayed once, and I played a lot with that machine. So yeah, and from there on it really gets complicated. It could be the electronics, though not the power rails, because they seem to be okay. I mean, the electronics are working, the display, seems to start the program, or at least it's trying to start the program, and then goes into an endless loop. If there's an analog additional rail 12 volt for driving relays, it's obviously also working because you hear the relays clickety click. And from there on it really gets complicated. I mean, it could be just a broken bit inside the flash or EEPROM of that thing here, or it could be a sensor giving false signals, and there is a lot of sensors in here. There are pressure sensors, and these modern machines also have acceleration sensors for detecting vibrations and guesstimating the load inside the drum. It could be the motor itself, it could be everything. And I could reverse engineer the whole thing, do some measurements, and then order a spare part. You get the spare parts for reasonable prices. However, if the first attempt with a spare part is not successful, I have to order and wait for the next most likely part to be defect to arrive, and then we break that hard time limit set by the spouse, and we really don't want to do that. So I ordered a new machine, and it's not a Bauknecht, of course, because the Bauknecht Super Echo 6414 only made it through 8 years, and I'm guesstimating here again 400-500 washing cycles. And the machine has another problem with the door. You really have to close it really forcefully so the machine recognizes the door as closed. Otherwise it won't start the program. We saw that too. Anyways, that's it for today. Till next time, bye.